Brand new episode of CNB, and of course a brand new car with me as well. That is undoubtedly the new Audi A6. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar. Welcome to a brand new episode. Our big top story. It's something that's been very close to my heart and indeed to us here at CNB, because we've really followed this story right from its very start. Safer cars for India. Crash testing of Indian-made cars, and we now go into the latest round of tests from Global NCAP. Once again, it's made in India cars that have been shipped overseas for crash testing, and we've got some interesting results coming your way for very popular models. And these are cars that, well, in some cases in particular, many of you have actually written in and asked about their safety ratings for. And so we're quite happy to now bring you these very latest crash test results from Global NCAP. We're talking about the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga, the Datsun Readygo, the Hyundai Santro, and of course the very popular Maruti Suzuki Wagon R as well. After a strong showing in the last round of crash tests, Maruti Suzuki once again finds itself in the dock on vehicle safety. Fresh results from crash tests of Indian-made cars by safety watchdog Global NCAP see the Maruti Suzuki Wagon R scoring just 2 stars for adult occupant safety. The car has also received only 2 stars for child occupant protection. The Wagon R's body shell integrity has been rated as unstable as well. The Wagon R has received a score of only 6.93 from a possible 17 in adult occupant protection. The test showed that the car's front seatbelt pre-tensioners did not operate as required, causing severe potential injuries to the chest and knee area of the crash test dummies. The Wagon R's footwell area has also been rated as unstable as a result of possible knee and ankle related injuries. The car's child occupant score was 16.33 from a maximum 49 points. The low score is on account of the child seat for a 3-year-old having failed during the test. The Wagon R also does not offer a 3-point seat belt in all seating positions, nor does it have ISOFIX anchorages for those child seats. The 18-month-old's rear-facing seat, though, fared quite well. The Wagon R was relaunched earlier this year in a new generation. The car moved to the larger hard-teched platform that also hosts the Baleno, Ignis and Swift. The expectation was that moving from the earlier dated platform to a more refined and rigid one would improve its vehicle safety. The Maruti Suzuki Swift had also received only 2 stars each for adult and child protection, with very similar scores when the test on the current generation car was carried out in 2018. The new Wagon R is larger and drives better than the previous car and has more comfort and better ride quality. It has moved up in price also due to this, and it is now priced between 4,34,000 and 5,91,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi. Car and Bike has reached out to Maruti Suzuki India for a statement on the latest NCAP results, but has not heard back from the company at the time that this video was published. The much celebrated and in-demand Maruti Suzuki Ertiga is in its 2nd generation. The new car brought not just better space utilization and huge improvements in design, but also better build quality and features over the first gen. The Indian-made model was also expected to be much safer than the previous car, as the new crash and safety regulations had kicked in before its launch. The Maruti Suzuki Ertiga has scored reasonably well on a frontal offset crash test carried out by Global NCAP. The car received 3 stars each for adult and child occupant protection, but the car's body shell integrity score was borderline and fell into the unstable category. The Ertiga gets ISOFIX as standard, and so correct child seat installation is possible. That helped the child occupant score. While the older child seat showed better protection, the 18-month-old child's seat showed poor protection for the head and neck. The Ertiga's new generation is also on sale in Indonesia, and while the previous gen car had scored very high in a test done in 2016, the new one has not as yet been tested by ASEAN NCAP. Maruti Suzuki also launched a premium version of the Ertiga in the form of the XL6 that sells from the Nexa retail channel in August 2019. Car and Bike reached out to Maruti Suzuki but has not received any revert on our queries regarding the Ertiga's crash test scores. The Datsun Readygo has scored 1 star in the latest Global NCAP crash tests of Indian-made cars. The 2019 tests saw the Readygo marginally improve the tally of its sibling, the Go, which had scored 0 stars. The car got 1 star for adult occupants, though the score could have been higher had there been better protection for the driver's chest area. On child occupant protection, the Readygo did better, but yet again the score could have been a lot higher had the Readygo offered rear seat belts with pre-tensioners and ISOFIX child seat anchors. Datsun India told Car and Bike, "Safety is the key priority for Datsun. The Datsun Readygo meets all safety standards and regulations in India, and we will continue to invest in the brand towards offering high value and competitiveness." The Readygo tested was built before May 2019. The car has received some regulation-related safety changes in July this year. That would impact its safety score in a positive sense, since features like seatbelt reminders and speed limiters have now been added as standard. The Datsun Readygo uses the same CMF-A platform as the Renault Kwid. The Kwid too had fared poorly at Global NCAP, though Renault has been initiating many changes with the car ever since. The recently facelifted version of the Kwid is said to carry several structural changes to enhance crash safety as well. The Readygo will likely follow suit, though there is no confirmation on this at this time. The car is expected to get rear seat belts with pre-tensioners though in a few months' time. The Hyundai Santro nameplate holds a huge place in the hearts of many Indian buyers. The car was brought back to the Indian market with much fanfare at the end of 2018 in its second generation to replace the Eon. The Santro has been crash tested by Global NCAP in the latest round of safety tests by the Global Safety Watchdog. It has scored 2 stars for adult and child protection. The Santro was crashed as per the Global NCAP protocol at 64 km/h in a frontal offset test. The car does not get dual front airbags as standard, and only the driver airbag is. Besides potential injuries sustained by the crash test dummies, the car's body structure and footwell area were also rated as unstable. The Santro's rear seat does not offer ISOFIX child seat mounts, and that impacted its score, as did the lack of a 3-point seat belt for the middle occupant. The belt-strapped child seats were only just adequate, though the front-facing older child seat did worse than the rear-facing infant one. The Santro recently received its first anniversary edition in the market, but we are told further safety enhancements are expected on the car. However, there has been no official confirmation on this, nor any statement from Hyundai Motor India in response to queries sent by Car and Bike.
TVS Motor Company's flagship motorcycle, the Apache RR 310. With a single-cylinder 313cc engine developed in collaboration with BMW Motorrad, the RR 310 is the first full-fare TVS bike, and it gets updated. The dimensions are the same and so is the design, but there are some small changes. The earlier matte black shade has been discontinued, and now the RR 310 gets a gloss black finish with new body graphics. But more importantly, it now comes with a slipper clutch, which can also be retrofitted to the last generation bikes.
Well, it's not an all-new motorcycle per se, but meet the 2019 TVS Apache RR 310. It's a flagship motorcycle from TVS Motor Company, and it's built on a common platform shared with the BMW G310R and BMW G310 GS. Of course, this has been made completely in-house by TVS Motor Company. And now, TVS has made some subtle changes based on feedback from riders, from reviewers like us, who've given them a lot of feedback, and it's available in an all-new gloss black, what's called a phantom black color. Cosmetically, there are very subtle changes. You get new graphics, the bar ends are heavier and bigger, and you get a small beading on between the windshield and the bodywork. But the more important change, of course, is the feedback that TVS got is that this one was the last generation rather was a little vibey. So you could feel the vibrations when you're riding the bike, and TVS wanted to sort those issues out. And of course, also what is new is the addition of a race-tuned slipper clutch. So what that does, it gives you slicker gear shifts, a lighter clutch lever feel. And of course, my colleague Kingshuk has already ridden it on the racetrack, but today we're going to ride it in the city, in traffic, in the urban jungle, to see how much of a change the new Apache RR 310 has made, and how does it feel like to ride in the city.
The RR 310 is eager to move within the city, and with a well-balanced weight and taut chassis, it's quite a likable motorcycle for the urban runaround. Now, with the addition of the slipper clutch, working the clutch is easier thanks to a lighter lever feel, and even the gear shifts are slick and slot into place with precision. The ride quality is on the stiffer side, but it's not uncomfortable. In fact, it glides over most road imperfections and broken tarmac without reason for any complaint.
What I like most about the TVS Apache RR 310 is the way it looks. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's built very well, fit and finish is top notch. And of course, lots of heads will turn when you ride this bike, be it in this glossy black shade or even in the red shade that it comes with. It's available in only two colors. And now with the changes, of course, the clutch is light. You can ride it very comfortably within the city, in traffic. Gear shifts are slick and precise. And most of all, it handles beautifully in traffic. If you're using it primarily for the commute, or if you're using it primarily for in-city duties, the Apache RR 310 actually is quite a likable bike. With the changes that is made, the vibrations have decreased, yes, particularly in the handlebar, but there's still some vibrations coming in from the fuel tank and the seat, which you feel at high revs. And right now the weather is it's getting better now, but I suspect in peak summer, there's a small amount of engine heat from the engine, which could be a spot of bother if you're stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, crawling traffic for hours on end. But overall, I think the TVS Apache RR 310, with the improvements that TVS has made, has become that much better. Well, it's not the perfect bike yet, but yes, it's definitely a likable bike, and I wish I could spend some more time riding this bike.
The TVS Apache RR 310 has many things going for it. It looks stunning, it's easy to handle, and it's well engineered with very well sorted dynamics. With the addition of the slipper clutch and with new improvements, it does make the Apache RR 310 a better bike, even if the changes aren't groundbreaking. In the end, the RR 310 is a well-rounded product. but it leaves you wanting for just that little bit more to give it that special character that differentiates a great bike from being just a good bike.
You have to react to the crash test results that we brought you at the top of the show. That is something that many of you should now increasingly care about going forward. We do need to have an India NCAP, which means even more stringent crash norms than what has finally gotten instituted about 2 years back. So yes, the journey on safer cars for India is certainly far from over. So react to all of that. Promise me you'll wear your seatbelts and do your bit, or a helmet if you're on a bike. I'll see you next week.